I first want to talk to you guys about prospecting, because this is something that, I talk a lot about too, is kind of prospecting the right clients. And we're going to talk to Jason here about that now. Is the problem that a lot of agency owners, face when it comes to prospecting. So Jason, what do you see as like the biggest mistake that agencies make when it comes to prospecting?
Yeah, they don't have a niche to target, and they're targeting everybody, right? They're like, well, we do web design, or we do social media, or we do Facebook ads, and we just go after small business in our local market. And I think that's the biggest mistake, rather than, versus if you knew like, hey, I'm going after doctors, or I'm going after lawyers of a certain size that struggle with X, Y, and Z. So now you can understand what their biggest challenges are. What do they actually want? What do they want to transform into? And how does the problems that they have make them feel, which is the decision, or which is the reason why people make a decision in order to work with you. And so it's really about drilling down and knowing your audience, because like I was chatting with in the group in Hawaii, and I was saying, look, you're going fishing, and you're trying to fish for whales, but you're going into a stream and there's no whales in a stream, or you have the wrong bait. So the first thing is knowing who you're going after, and specifically understanding what they need and what they want.
100% agree. And that's the number one mistake I see people make. And so many people struggle with it still, is the niching. Like, who am I going after, And, that's so critical. So what are your thoughts then on like, let's say, you're kind of a newer startup agency and you do have a specific target market. Someone comes in, you're really hungry to get a client, but you have that gut feeling that they're not the right client. So how do you handle that,
Yeah, say no. So there's one of my mottos is there's no such thing as a bad agency client. There's only a bad prospect or a bad process. And most of the time they're a bad prospect. And if you take on the wrong ones, they're just going to make your life a lot harder, right? They're going to cost you a lot of money. And the number one thing you should be concentrating on after delivering value to your clients is profit. Everybody always talks about the top line revenue and be like, cool, I'm a $10 million agency. Well, if you're not making any profit, that sucks, right? I'd rather be $1 million agency
yes.
with a 40% profit margin than a 10 million at zero. And I think everybody can agree on that. But for some odd reason, we keep measuring ourselves based on the revenue or the number of employees that we have. And we think that's the direct correlation of the value that we project. And it's not. And so you got to just kind of change your thinking on there. And then think about, if you ask yourself these kind of questions. So I always love the self-proclaimed gurus. We all know them, right, out there, and saying, hey, this is the most profitable niche for agencies. And I think that's kind of BS, because no one can tell you who your niche needs to be. Only you can determine it. I mean, you can't, I can't, right? I mean, we can make suggestions, but you have to ask yourself, what do I have the most passion in? What do I have the most knowledge in? And can I deliver the most amazing results? And then figure out, how do I drill down into that niche? And then you can start coming up with strategies and tactics in order to reach them.
Totally. And I wanted to add something there too, because you have to make sure that, okay, just because you have a passion doesn't mean that you should go after that niche. Like, they have to have the budget. Okay. So I want to bring this up too, because, I'm working with people right now in our remote agency society and our Vermont Legion Masters. And then I have a passion for this niche, but it's full of solopreneurs who can't afford even $500 a month, So they have all this experience and this passion in it, but you kind of have to follow also the money a little bit. You can't be like going after people and selling custom digital marketing packages when you know that they cannot afford to pay you that, So I wanted to add that part in there, because it's not just about like your knowledge and your passion. Like, you have to be smart about it,
Yeah. Well,
so I wanted to throw that in.
Yeah. The other thing in there is, I don't ever think you have to go after the people that want your help, right? So I think it's right. And
yes.
Because a lot of those people that you might be talking about, let's use this as an analogy. If they were about to have a heart attack and And Mandy, you were the only ones that could save their life. You were a doctor, right? Are they going to ask you how much it is? Like, be like, no, I can't afford $500. They'd be like, I'll save my
Exactly.
life, right? So it's about urgency,
Right.
and it's about communicating the value. But it's about communicating the value, like you said, we both are on the same page. Communicating the value to the right people that actually understand the value that you can deliver. Because at the end of the day, if you can deliver every dollar someone spends with you and you can return a 10x multiple on that, the only reason they wouldn't choose you is they have the wrong mindset, or they don't trust you, or they don't trust them. So just be aware of that. And when you're selling people, it's never about the money, but it's about talking to the right people that understand the true value of what you can actually do.